Certainly. So when we're talking about the game-changing capabilities, to just pull the thread a little bit further on what General Sadari just talked about, this refueling activity that the Chinese have conducted on orbit with the SJ-25 and the SJ-21-2 systems that they have that were doing this during the spring and early summer, we have to remember that it's game-changing for them. They have to have on-orbit refueling as a capability because they don't access space as frequently as we do. And so when it comes to replenishing our toolkit, getting more capability, reconstitution, having reusable launch is what affords us that ability, and the Chinese don't have that. So for them, pursuing things like refueling on orbit, it is game-changing for them. Beyond that, I will tell you that we joke all the time that we wish that we could just have like a static threat brief that we put on the shelf, and then maybe like once or twice a year, we dust it off and we're good to go. Unfortunately, that's not the case because it seems like every month there's something new. The two things that I'll just sort of talk about specifically that are recently developing. The Yaogan 45 was recently launched this month. It's a remote sensing system, but if you look at where it's actually being put in the slot, it's in MEO, right? So this is 2,000 kilometers above Earth. Very unusual to put a remote sensing satellite higher than LEO. And so that alone is very interesting, but if you go back a year ago, around May, the Chinese started to put these smart Skynet satellites in MEO as well. And so it looks like a year ago, they started to put the infrastructure at MEO to be able to move around data, and then you have a year later, the Chinese are now putting remote sensing capability at MEO as well. That's interesting, and that starts to paint a picture of that they value remote sensing to the point where they want resiliency and layers of it, right? We know they can do that from GEO, we know they can do it from LEO, and now you're seeing them move to MEO as well. And then the last thing I'll hit on, the TJS series of spacecraft, these are experimental communication satellites. This year alone, the Chinese have put about 5 of them on orbit, which is highly unusual compared to previous years. The only thing I'll say about those particular spacecraft is that, one, the Chinese have clearly learned to put nice little mission patches sort of affixed to these missions, similar to how the US does. They refer to these as the kings of the north, south, east, and west, hinting that there's a sort of family of systems with these particular spacecraft. More importantly, these spacecraft that are sitting at GEO are not supposed to be sliding all around the GEO belt, but the history of these experimental spacecraft has shown that that's exactly what they do, which is very uncharacteristic for a system that's supposed to be providing satellite communications.